Week 9 picks, and we're going to start off with the crap Thursday night football game. Not only that, it's Bills versus Jets, and obviously the Bills don't look bad this season. I think they have something right here. They can definitely potentially make the playoffs, especially with just trading for Kelvin Benjamin. A nice, good steal by the Bills right there. But it's a color rush game, and colorblind people or people who are red and green colorblind can't watch the game because the Jets are all green, Bills are all red, and I'm just gonna say this right now: color rush is stupid. Okay, the color rush uniforms blow ass. Okay, the throwback uniforms I usually think are better. Now I know there's some teams in the league they have a weird throwback, like the Green Bay Packers have a really weird throwback. I know the Jets kind of have an odd throwback. I actually do like the Jets throwback; it actually looks kind of cool. I know a lot of people say, "Well, weren't they wearing the same uniform in the '60s?" Well, maybe if you even go farther back, or that weird, like really dark blue uniform. Anyway, I got the Bills in this game. Next one, Cincinnati versus Jacksonville. Now Jacksonville definitely does have a good defense this year. It has a better pass defense, and they do have a run defense, and they haven't faced many good offenses this year. Cincinnati is one of those teams that isn't a very good offense. But when the Jacksonville Jaguars have faced a good offense, similar to the Rams, they gave up, I believe, like 26 points, more than enough to win most football games. So I think, but since it's against Cincinnati, which is a struggling offense, and it's going to be tough to stop that front seven without having Andrew Whitworth back there. So, going to give Jacksonville right there. Next one is Indianapolis versus Houston. Now, when it comes to Indianapolis, sad news today that Andrew Luck will be out for the season. But the reason why it's not so much of the severity of the injury, I just don't think the Colts are just want to compete this year, to be honest with you. I think they want Chuck Pagano out of there. And not only that, I think they would rather be safe than sorry with it. I think Andrew Luck could play right now, but I don't think the Colts are looking to compete this year. We'll give it to Houston on this one. It's also in Houston, so give it props to them. And they just won the World Series, so yeah, gotta give it to them. Next one is Baltimore versus Tennessee. Now, Baltimore's a scrub-killing defense, but Tennessee is very talented. It's going to be in Tennessee, and they don't have Joe Flacco starting because I believe he has a concussion, so I don't think he will start. Gotta give it to Tennessee on this one. Next one is Oakland versus Miami. Oakland's in a must-win scenario. Miami, yes, they do have home field advantage, but Oakland knows how to play in the heat. And not only that, they also have Matt Moore starting. Gotta give it to Oakland with this one. Next one is Kansas City versus Dallas. Now, the reason why I picked Dallas here, even though they lost Zeke, they still got a great O-line. I think Alfred Morris can be a very good running back. I think they need to run a little bit more option this game. If I'm Jason Garrett, run option with Dak Prescott and Alfred Morris, and you will not regret it. Had that O-line right there, and Alfred Morris was a 1,600-yard rusher when they ran read option with RG3. Maybe use that with Dak Prescott against Kansas City. It's also going to be in Dallas, and I know the Houston Astros just won the World Series, so I'm going to give it to Dallas on that one. Just kind of have that pump-up vibe. Next one is Denver versus Philadelphia. Now, when it comes to Philadelphia, best team in football, Carson Wentz. So far, he is my MVP pick right here. How the Eagles are playing, they remind me of the 2010 Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers. Yes, sir. I see Carson Wentz just carries the load of this team. And not only that, they have a really good front seven on that defense with a nice guy in the secondary who I think is really underrated, Malcolm Jenkins. But when it comes to this, though, Denver has an extremely talented defense. And Denver will eat up teams that are quarterback-centric. Yes, they will. Look what they did to Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago. Or hell, even a little bit earlier. Look what they did to Tom Brady in the AFC Conference game. This is something that they do. And any team that's very quarterback-centric, against Denver. Denver will eat them alive. And listen, look, it's going to be a good game. I'm not saying it's not going to be close, but I think the offense is definitely going to struggle. And really, it's the Carson Wentz show out there in Philadelphia and their O-line. Yes, I know Jac Jac was a 1,200-yard rusher, but I'm not a big Jac Jac fan. LeGarrette Blount, obviously, I like LeGarrette Blount, but he's similar to Jac Jac. I mean, the talent's just not really around Carson Wentz except for the O-line spot, but I'm going to have to give it to Denver on this one. Next one is Arizona versus San Francisco. San Francisco just acquired Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's not going to be starting and all that. And I think they just lost their starting quarterback. Well, I don't think he was starting anymore, Brian Hoyer, but I got to give it to Arizona in this one. Next one is the Rams versus the Giants. The Rams are a better away team than they are a home team, and New York has struggled this year. New York doesn't really have an O-line. The best part of the Rams defense, even though the Rams defense is struggling this year, is their front four. I'm going to give it to the Rams on this one. Next one is Atlanta versus Carolina. Atlanta, they're used to the road right now. This is their third straight road game in the world, so they know what it's like not to play at home. However, Carolina is in a must-win scenario. And Kelvin Benjamin, I'm not really a big Kelvin Benjamin fan, and neither am I. And to be honest, a lot of people are a little bit downfounded in the trade. Like, why are you giving away this talent? Like, it shows that you're not going to be very competitive for the playoffs. In Carolina's defense, even though I'm against the trade, but in their defense, though, they went to the Super Bowl. They went 15-1 without Kelvin Benjamin. So his value hurts a little bit, and I believe the before Marty Hurney, the GM, who I'm kind of blanking on, was one of those draft picks. He was one of their picks. Not a bad pick, but hey, I gotta give it to Carolina this one. Next one is Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. It's gonna be in New Orleans. New Orleans is a better road team than they are a home team, and Tampa Bay is in a must-win scenario. Gotta give it to Tampa Bay on this one. Next one is Washington versus Seattle. I think Seattle, this team is all about motivation, especially Pete Carroll. When you get Sheldon Richardson, they're motivated. When they signed Dwight Freeney and then traded for Dwayne Brown, so a lot of motivation right here. And it's also going to be in Seattle. I'm going to give it to Seattle in this one. Next one is Detroit versus Green Bay. Now, I want Detroit to win this one, but I think Green Bay is. It's going to be in Green Bay. I know the Saints just beat them there. Detroit's been struggling a little bit, but I think Brett Hundley will look okay enough to carry them the way. Detroit isn't insanely talented, but I just got to look at this team and think to myself, I think Green Bay can win this. If you missed any of my picks, just look down in the description. You just see them right there. It's pretty easy to read. Also, if you want to do the website, that was a shout out to Sean D, who gave me the website. It's called the Playoff Predictors. Links in the description and all that. Also, my last video is also in the link description. See you guys next time. Peace.